Hello, Year 5. Good afternoon and welcome to today's theme learning. Now, today I'm going to talk you through the graphic organizer for our new theme, Islamic Civilization. Now, this is going to be just like the one that you did for the Victorian era. I'm going to give you lots of images, some key dates, and then read through lots of information with that. And what I want you to do is to be drawing along with me so you're beginning to take on board that information. Now, at any point during the video, if you get a bit behind what I'm saying, please feel free to press pause, and you can pick it up again afterwards. I will also prompt you to pause during the video, and when I do so, I'm going to want you to trace back through the information that I've given you so far, just like we would do normally if we were in school. Now, just to put things into context, you look at the timeline ahead of you, and just to the right of the middle on the top line, you'll see that Baghdad was established in 762 CE. That's well over 1,000 years before the Victorian era, the latest piece of learning that we've just done. So just bear that in mind as we go throughout this whole theme, and we're learning lots of information, and we'll keep drawing reference to that as we go. So without further ado, you need a piece of paper, a pencil, and we'll begin. Okay, so please start by drawing that circle, the temple, and the mosque in the middle. The ancient city of Baghdad was designed and built as a round city, and it was known as the City of Peace. A smooth outer wall topped with many watchtowers protected mud brick houses, mosques, which are places of worship, and souks, which were marketplaces. A second wall ringed the city centre with iron gates so heavy that it would take several strong men to open and close them. A third inner wall with an enormous golden gate protected the caliph's palace, houses for elite guards and administrators. Like a great wheel, Baghdad spread out from the caliph's central palace and mosque. The walled city had 4 gates, from which the avenues led to the center. Now, the city of Baghdad was in Iraq, and Baghdad is still in Iraq today, but the ancient city no longer exists. There's no part of it there anymore. So, the building of Baghdad was commissioned in 762 CE by Caliph al-Mansur. It was located between the river Tigris and the river Euphrates, which meant it was perfect, as enemies would need to cross either river in order to gain access to the new city. The two rivers also made the fields around the city very fertile farmland and allowed markets and trade to flourish. Now, in 830 CE, the House of Wisdom was built. This building was also known as the Grand Library of Baghdad. It became the home of the ancient and modern wisdom during the Islamic Golden Age, preserving important works of scholarship from across Europe and the Middle East. Now, in 900 CE, the population of Baghdad had grown to 1.5 million people, larger than any European city. Only Beijing and Shanghai were bigger at that time. Now, the period that goes from 700 to 900 CE is known as the Golden Age of Islam. It was known as this as the scholars living in Baghdad translated Greek texts and made scientific discoveries. In 1258 CE saw the siege of Baghdad. The city was captured, and over time, it was burnt to the ground. So at this point, I would like you to now press pause and then trace back through what I've already shown you, talk to you, and see if you can remember any of the information. Okay, trade. The city of Baghdad was located on the river Tigris. The city's docks accommodated hundreds of different boats, including trading vessels, pleasure crafts, and warships. Merchants and sailors brought precious goods, news, and knowledge from around the world to the city. Baghdad was strategically located between Asia and Europe, which made it a prime spot on overland trade routes between the two continents. Some of the goods being traded through Baghdad were ivory, soap, honey, and diamonds. People in Baghdad made and exported silk, glass, tiles, and paper. Now, the items would be traded on the roads, by boats on the river, and by caravans of camels that would have used the roads. At this point, again, I would like you to pause the video and trace back through everything that I've taught you so far including the trade section. Culture. The House of Wisdom was built in 830 CE and was primarily built as a library, but soon became the home of the ancient and modern wisdom during the Islamic Golden Age, preserving and translating important works of scholarship from across Europe and the Middle East. So the image there with the A is a book being translated from one language into another. Often it was translated from Greek. The House of Wisdom was destroyed during the siege of Baghdad, and many of its books and scriptures were thrown into the river Tigris. Now, there is some people that say that the river even turned black with the ink that ran out of the books. There were that many books that it turned the river black. At this point, I would like you to pause the video again and trace your way through, right from the beginning with the circle, through all of the dates at the top, through trade and through culture, trying to remember all the information that I've given you so far. Finally, learning. Baghdad was known as the learning capital of the world, and it was home to many scientists, philosophers, and astronomers. At this point, I would now like you to pause your video again and trace your way through all of the information that I give you. How many of the facts that I've told you can you remember? I want to set you a challenge as well. Can you create your own presentation on our graphic organizer? Can you record yourself talking through the information that I've given you? Talk yourself through your own graphic organizer that you've just done. Record it on a video and send it in to either myself or Mrs. Williams. Thank you very much, and good luck.